This is it. Somewhere in this area, east of Aquila, where the midsummer sun warms the ocean. All right, Alphonse. Please hand her over to us. Richter? How? You're Elinor, aren't you? Father Heyman asked us to find you. He's been very worried since you disappeared. Father? Elinor, please come home. You haven't done anything wrong. That man must have said something to you, right? Come on, let's go back to the church together. Elinor, do you want to go back? Don't say anything to her. This is between me and her. She's like a daughter to me. You have nothing to do with this. Why did you tempt her in the first place? Listen, Elinor. I hated the idea from the beginning, but you were so kind that you insisted we save that man who had washed up on the beach. Father, forgive me. I'm not coming back to the church. I am thankful for what you've done, but I want to be with him. Yeah, and this is why I hate Father Heyman, by the way. Poor Elinor. You're confused because of him. Please snap out of it. Don't you understand that I love you more than anyone? Stop it. Think about what you're doing. Why do you come between us? I do this because I love her. I don't want to have to chastise her. This is what's best for her. Now, give my Elinor back to me. Do you think you can change her mind with violence? There's no way I'll let you have her. She came here of her own free will, and I'm glad she's by my side. You can't change that. And what about you military men? You've always determined people's futures by force. Commander Lasanti, please. She's my daughter. Please take her back from that reckless youth. Calm down, Father Heyman. I understand your concern, but the wind here is strong and dangerous. Please stand back and leave this to us. I was looking for a girl who knows about mermaids, and here I find you again. Listen, I don't know how much information you have, but if the stories I've heard are true, then this sacred spear, Longicolnus, is no ordinary spear. Longicolnus? Heh, you don't even know the name of what you seek? That woman has not been truthful with you. The sacred spear, Longicolnus, the legendary spear fashioned by God from the horn of a fallen angel. It has pierced even the sacred demon. Mermaids are unworthy of holding such power. How do you know so much about the sacred spear? Do you seriously believe that our mission was to investigate and drive out the White Fang troops that invaded this island? Just give her to me already. You don't want to cause trouble, do you? Maybe you've taken a liking to her, but we need her more than you. You may not know this, but her mother is the mermaid who stole the sacred spear. Elinor? The child of a mermaid? Elinor! Have you forgotten my warning? Get in the way, and you'll be regarded as my enemy. No! Power unleashed. Bit of foreshadowing here, actually. Elinor, the light. Is it from your necklace? Oh no. Alphonse. I... Great. More of them are coming. Can you swim? I'm not much of a swimmer. so he trusts his fate to the maiden Elinor. The Golden Mermaid, Brevra. You protected Elinor. Thank you. Tell me, are you really Elinor's mother? Well, perhaps the time has come to tell you the truth. Elinor, you are not my daughter. You were born a human child. 400 years ago, during the war, I met a man who was opposed to that war. He was gentle and kind, but he was still a human, an enemy of mermaids. I feared for his life, so I took the sacred spear in hopes of ending the war. I sacrificed many mermaid lives by doing so. Back then, passion overruled my reasoning. I abandoned the home of mermaids and lived secretly with my love, Lucius. However, it wasn't long before he passed away. The lifespan of humans is much shorter than ours. After his death, I left that place, taking the sacred spear with me. It was too difficult for me to remain in a place that reminded me of him. However, since I had betrayed my kind, I didn't have anywhere to go. I lacked even the courage to take my own life. I wandered the Eastern Sea, searching for a way to repent. For the last few hundred years, I have lived here, alone. For hundreds of years? All by yourself? About 10 years ago, soldiers landed on the south side of this island. They surrounded a nearby town and burned it down. While I watched from the ocean, I heard crying. I found a newborn baby wrapped in a blanket. That was me. Holding you in my arms? You were so adorable. But I was afraid that she wouldn't be able to adjust in society if I raised her. I knew I couldn't keep her, so I asked a couple in the northern village to look after her. In a northern village. I don't remember well, but the scent of the ocean and the sound of the crashing waves. When I saw you at the beach by my village, you seemed so familiar. I didn't think you'd remember me since you were so small. I used to hold you and watch the dawn from Aquila Beach. Elinor, I'm sorry you had such a hard life. Don't be. My step-parents in Sotavento treated me very well. Thank you, Brevra. Elinor told me that you're looking for the sacred spear. I also heard that this island's had many visitors recently. Can you tell me why you're looking for it? I'm actually going to show both dialogue options right quick, so forgive the save state there, but I'm going to pick the option that I don't normally go with, which is I seek its power. I seek the power that the spear possesses. Many people are fighting to gain control of it. For that reason, the lives of this island's inhabitants have been threatened. I can't let anyone have the spear. I want to end the fighting and bring peace to Ovis as quickly as possible, and that's why I need the spear. I hid it in a small shrine at a beach north of here. Since you saved Elinor, I'll entrust the spear to you. Please don't misuse it. And pardon me while I actually cut to the other option. Because of a promise I made to someone who I have a lot of faith in. Many people are fighting to gain control of the spear. For that reason, the lives of this island's inhabitants have been threatened. I can't let anyone have it. I promise to bring the spear back to Gallius before its power can be abused. And Brevra has basically the same thing to say, which is I hid it in a small shrine at the beach north of here. Since you saved Elinor, I'll entrust the spear to you. Please don't misuse it. I promise not to, Brevra. And I have a message from the leader of the mermaids. She said to tell you that they are no longer angry and await your return. Oh, Chloe. Aw, we reunited a family. And yeah, go ahead and save progress. Richter Lasanti, visiting as a representative of Felis, announced in the month of Oceano that the Right Fang troops of Renaculus had withdrawn from Ansur. Although the plans of the patrols and their troops were never discovered, since they had retreated, the issue was assumed to have been resolved. For the time being, the Order of the Sacred Flame was stationed in Scibellum, preparing to return to Felis. Meanwhile, after meeting with the Golden Mermaid Brevra, Alphonse and Elinor rejoined Cybil. Alphonse and the others were stationed at Formido, the former stronghold of the troops of Renaculus, researching the history of the spear. The patrols have a long history on this island. They rose to power after the war with the mermaids and relocated to the northern part of the island. It would come as no surprise if the heirs of the patrols knew of the sacred spear. The island's stormy season was quickly coming to an end, and it would soon be replaced by calmer autumn weather. Is that true? Richter's heading north? It's true. We know he took a few subordinates with him and headed to Naja, but we don't know his purpose or current location. As for the rest of his troops, it seems that they'll be returning to Felis as soon as the ship comes. He must be acting on his own. That means Felis was also looking for the spear. Yes, Richter admitted as much. He said his troops had a different mission from the beginning, but how much the Church of Lodis really know? Does the Church of Lodis really know? Since we have no way of knowing the true power of the spear, all I can do for now is make assumptions. If the Duke of Felis obtains the spear and doesn't hand it over to the Church, it's possible that the Church elders will send troops to arrest him for treason. Then, a war is sure to start. We can't afford to have internal conflict. That will leave Ovis defenseless to an outside invasion. It only takes a small spark to start a flame. The Duke may have already learned of our presence on this island. I'm sure he's been doing his research, but if we can get the spear first, then it's over for him. Because of the Church, he's had to do his treasure hunting in secret. If the White Fang troops hadn't invaded the south, then the Duke of Felis couldn't have sent his troops here. That means dispatching you here could have been part of the plan. The Lord of Renaculus and the Duke of Felis may have been in communication with each other, and it's a possibility. But then, some things don't make sense. If they were cooperating, why was I captured at Formido? And why would Richter follow the White Fang troops to Urodela? I think the Duke of Felis and the Lord of the North are pursuing different goals, but we don't have enough information to be certain. Ivanna, can you offer any insight? I've never heard anything about a sacred spear, but I do recall a story about a family member who fell in love with a mermaid 400 years ago. He supposedly cut ties with our family and ran away with her. Was his name Lucius? Maybe. He was considered such a coward because of his fear of war that we hardly talked about him, so I don't remember much. If a member of the Patrol family had a relationship with Brevra, then it's no surprise that they know about the sacred spear. There's one other thing that we can't forget. 15 years ago, when William Patrol passed away due to illness, his brother Neris succeeded him. So, which Patrol was the Duke in contact with? William or Neris? And is Richter just doing as his father told him to? Either way, the information we have gained from Brevra only gives us a small advantage over them. I haven't told anyone about the sacred spear, not even you. Elinor has been with me the whole time, so I'm sure she hasn't either. I plan to keep my promise to Brevra. Don't worry about it, but sitting around will get us nowhere. Do we have any other information? We've learned that there are survivors recently living in Bleat, the village that was burnt down during the Reformation. Perhaps they know something useful. There's a skilled spellcaster living by the ruins north of Tinea. If we can convince him to assist us, it would surely be to our advantage. But we heard that he's an unusual fellow. Maybe Richter had a different purpose for going north. Let's head that way for the time being. Everybody, get ready. Heading north? Through the Naja forest? Yes. The shrine on the beach where Barivra hid the spear. The report about Richter going to Naja. The mysterious death of the former Lord William. And the reformation to Lodisism 15 years ago. Every clue points to Renaculus. The north side of the forest is very different from this side. There it starts snowing at the end of fall, and the ground is usually covered with deep snow. Do you still want to go there? I can't just sit here and do nothing. I need to find out what Richter's been scheming. You know, I'm not very anxious to go there. Actually, that line doesn't make much sense. Alphonse, I don't think you could ever understand how scary it was escaping from the forest. It was so dark, and I got lost many times. I hate snow. Snow is so cold and harsh, and it hides everything in existence. Elinor, you're not alone anymore. But if you really don't want to come, you can stay behind. That's even worse. I'm sorry, Alphonse. Sorry for being so selfish. I know I've said this before, but I don't want to be a burden. I want to be strong so I can fight by your side. Alphonse, I want to be acknowledged as a soldier. I want to be your comrade. No, I can't allow that means that Elinor does not join your army. Yeah, stupidity right there. I misunderstood. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. With us being together, I guess I took things for granted. You don't have to understand everything all at once. Just little by little. Let's go, Elinor. Let's go together, Elinor. Thank you, Alphonse. Please watch over me. The little love story between them is just adorable. It really is. And we have multiple paths that we can go to. Like I said, you cannot go back here unless you want to initiate a special battle. So for the time being, Aquilo Bay is unfortunately out of bounds. Grillis is next. The next story episode is Vespa. And Beleza is another location to go to. I'm going to be attacking Grillis next, then Beleza, and then Vespa. So it's going to be so that's going to be the plan for now. Regardless, this is Draco Breach reporting out. God bless and safe travels.